This is a picture that you were shown this morning, Mr. Depp.
Yes, sir.
And you kind of made some illustrations on the picture and gave your account of what you see here. Mr. Depp, you testified previously that the vodka bottle that you allege cut off your finger was a handle of vodka, correct?
Yes.
You've already testified to that.
The second bottle, there was a handle on that bottle,
Right.
yes.
This bottle, whatever it is, to the extent it's glass at all, that's in the corner of this room, that's not a handle of vodka.
Objection calls for speculation.
I think you'll find that I said 2 bottles.
Well, actually, what you testified to this morning, Mr. Depp, was that the bottle in the corner was the handle, and there is no other bottle in the picture, is there?
No, that's not what I testified. I testified that... May I touch the screen?
Yes.
This is glass. This is glass.
Yep. And that's not a handle. Neither of those are handles of vodka.
It's that big. It's broken. The handles up the top on those vodka bottles, sir.
Yeah.
I mean...
And none, if you combine all that glass on the floor, that doesn't make up the amount of glass in a handle of vodka, does it?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm not a,
There's objection. Hold on. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
There is no picture of a handle of vodka broken on that floor, is there, Mr. Depp?
No, I don't see it. I see glass under this chair here.
Okay. Well, you testified this morning that you did see it, so it's good to get that clarification. Let's move
No, I
on.
didn't say I saw a handle.
You
I don't think we
testified
were-
earlier this morning that there was no phone in the bar area downstairs. Is that what you testified to?
I don't recall a phone in the bar area.
Okay.
I don't recall a Bakelite phone in the bar area where I...
Mr. Depp, we've done this drill before. This is your testimony from the UK, correct?
Can I please have...
It's this. We don't have copies for everyone. It's on the screen.
Your
right
Honor,
there.
may I please... I would like to have what he's the testimony of the
Here,
witness.
you can have my copy.
Thank you.
Mr. Depp, you remember giving testimony in the UK trial for several days, correct?
Okay, so, yeah, okay, here.
Yep.
So I
And-
do remember a telephone in the bar area, and this
Yeah, well,
telephone you picked up was made of Bakelite.
this is my turn to do this, Mr. Depp.
I'm sorry.
On page 421, line 19, you were asked a question, and this telephone that you picked up was made of, I'm sorry, I'm going to go up on the line 15. Question, at one stage when you were in the kitchen screaming at Miss Heard, you picked up a wall-mounted telephone. Do you remember a telephone in the kitchen? Answer, no ma'am, I remember a telephone in the bar area. Question, and this telephone that you picked up was made of Bakelite. Do you know what I mean by that? A retro telephone, wall-mounted but retro. Answer, it was a wall-mounted telephone, but it was not Bakelite. It was a modern phone. It was plastic. Question, a phone that was a wall-mounted phone that was picked up, can you scroll down please? Question, a phone that was a wall-mounted phone that was picked up by you, held in your right hand, and you were repeatedly smashing it against the wall in your right hand. Answer, that is possible. But I do not, if that is the case, I do not believe I spent very much time on the phone. I remember ripping the phone off the wall. That was your testimony, correct?
It seems it would be yes.
Thank you.
I...
Answer my question. Thank you. Mr. Depp, you've claimed before, you've said, if I'm angry and I've got to lash out or hit somebody, I'm going to do it. And I don't care what the repercussions are. Anger doesn't pay rent. It's got to go. It's got to be evicted. You've said that before, haven't you?
Have you a quote from me somewhere saying that?
It's my question to you. You've said that before, haven't you? Well, actually, let's refresh your recollection. Can you pull up
Be great.
the Ghost in the Machine article, please?
Possibly about paparazzis.
Mr. Depp, you see the picture of you on the lower left.
Yes.
Appears to be shirtless and wearing a crown, I believe. You see the long paragraph above that that starts with "in the Mark Hotel"?
Yes,
You see
yes,
that?
yes, I
At
did.
the bottom of that, does this refresh your recollection that you said, "I have a lot of love inside me and a lot of anger inside me as well. If I love somebody, then I'm going to love them. If I'm angry and I've got to lash out or hit somebody, I'm going to do it, and I don't care what the repercussions are. Anger doesn't pay rent. It's got to go. It's got to be evicted." Did I read that right?
You did read that right, yes.
Thank you. You can take that down, Michelle, please. Now, Mr. Depp, you've also claimed that you've said before that if you want to be with a woman sexually, that she is rightfully yours, haven't you?
Could you repeat that?
And you've also said that with
Could you
respect-
repeat that, please?
Yeah, that if you want to be with a woman sexually, that she is rightfully yours.
That's ludicrous.
You've also said that with respect to women that you want to be with, you've remarked, "I need, I want, I take," haven't you?
Equally as ludicrous, no.
Can you pull up DX883, please?
You can pull it what you like. I've never said those words. There's not enough hubris in me to say anything like that.
883?
883, Your Honor.
It's not-
DX
is it
It is not admitted yet.
Okay, 883.
Mr. Depp, these are text messages from you to Stephen Deuters on February 22nd, 2017, correct?
This looks nothing like me. You might have mistaken.
Mr. Depp, we can show the full unredacted. You've looked at a number of text messages in this case, and the words "him" as the identifier, that's you, correct? In every text message we've seen in this case.
Yeah, sure. It still doesn't mean it hasn't been screwed with. That's not anything that I've ever said or written.
You want to see the whole thing unredacted? We can look at that too.
No, because you could have typed it up last night. No.
Yeah. I can assure you I didn't type it up last night, Mr. Depp. Mr. Depp, on February 22nd, 2017, you texted Mr. Deuters, "Right, exactly. Molly's pussy is rightfully mine. Should I not just bust in and remove its hinges tonight?" Did I read that right?
You read it right.
And the
yes.
one beneath that, you say, "I want to change her understanding of what it is like to be thrashed about like a pleading mackerel." And then in all caps you write, "I need, I want, I take." Is that right?
You read it right. But I did not write that.
Okay.
Perhaps someone else.
You wrote
had
every
my
other
phone.
text that you produced that came from you in this litigation, didn't you?
Not necessarily. Sometimes you give your phone to people and they
Now,
text
when you
from
got
it.
off that plane
Excuse me?
From Boston,
I'm sorry?
when you got off the plane from Boston, you knew Miss Heard was angry with you, didn't you?
It was pretty much a given.
Objection, calls for speculation.
And you understood her to be angry, right?
She was always angry, yes.
And you asked Mr. Deuters, same person, you can take this down, Michelle, please, thank you. Same person that you texted in that last exhibit, you asked Mr. Deuters to communicate with her on your behalf, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to explain.
You asked Mr. Deuters to communicate with Miss Heard by text to speak to her about the incident, correct?
About what incident?
To speak to her about the plane flight,
The plane?
the Boston plane.
The Boston plane. So you're saying that I influenced Mr. Deuters. I told him that he had to write this, and I told him that he had to write that. Is that what you're saying?
No. It wasn't uncommon for Mr. Deuters to text to communicate with Miss Heard on your behalf, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
He was your personal assistant. Mr. Deuters was your personal assistant, correct?
I had two personal assistants
Right.
at the time.
He was one of them, right?
Yeah, Mr. Duders was one of them, yes, sir.
Right, and it wasn't uncommon for you to ask Mr. Duders to communicate with Ms. Heard on your behalf, correct?
It wasn't uncommon for any of them to communicate with Ms. Heard on my behalf if I were on set or unavailable or any of that.
Or if Ms. Heard and you had a fight, you would sometimes have them communicate with Ms. Heard on your behalf, correct?
I think my crew caught on very quickly that
Just a yes or no,
would be
Mr. Depp.
necessary for them to.
No, just a yes or no. It was not uncommon after
Objection,
you and Ms.
Your
Heard
Honor.
had
I'd ask that he be allowed to finish his answer.
yes or no question, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead and ask your question again.
Thank you, Your Honor. It wasn't uncommon for you to have one of your personal assistants communicate with Ms. Heard after you and her had a fight.
I disagree because you're insinuating that I had them do it, and you don't know that.